Hello everybody! Time for another still frame review. By request of my friend Nathaniel, or Nate as he's called online, I'm reviewing Mulan, the 2020 remake. Now everybody hated it when it came out because the 1998 Mulan was an integral part of a lot of people's childhoods, more so than I think anyone at Disney ever realized. I think Mulan is to the Zoomers as The Lion King was to the Millennials. But it's been 5 months since the movie came out, and I think that's a good cooling off period. We can look at it with a little bit more objectivity now. So, I'm gonna take a step back and not compare it to the original, and see if the 2020 film can stand on its own merits. Alright, quick plot summary. Loosely based off the Chinese folk legend, the story follows Mulan, who, after her disabled father is called to join the army, steals his armor and joins the army in his place, disguised as a man. They go and fight the Ruran army. I'll say this for the original, and this is it, Hun was a lot easier to pronounce. Mulan meets a witch who's working for the Rurans, and then Mulan drops the disguise and tricks the Rurans into causing an avalanche that buries them, winning the battle. Mulan is expelled from the Chinese army, however, once they discover that she's not a man, and then the witch tells Mulan the Rurans are going to attack the Imperial City. She goes back to warn the army, and then they rush off to save the Emperor. Mulan manages to save the day, goes home to reunite with her family, and is offered a position in the Emperor's Guard. Okay, I always start with the good of a movie, so here's what's good about it. Well, the cinematography's nice, real pretty. I think cinematographer Mandy Walker really knows how to find interesting images and strike a mood. And that's about all the good I can think of, at least all the perfect good. There's some humor I like, and the action scenes have some potential, but really the cinematography is the only part of this movie that doesn't have a particular flaw associated with it. Now, we've all heard the bad. From the cultural inaccuracies to the weird plot holes, the cliche dialogue, the bad ADR, and even the controversy of filming near Uyghur concentration camps. It seems like all the YouTube reviewers have covered everything already, and I have no hot take left. But there are two main problems I think I can at least label as the big ones. For my thesis in one of my college classes, I made a video essay arguing the way Disney could make a perfect remake was to A, focus on getting great actors who are so charismatic and engaging you have to watch them in live action, and B, film great action scenes to take your audience on a ride. Unfortunately, Disney completely dropped the ball on both of these categories in the movie. I think it was just a matter of hiring the wrong people. They made the wrong choice in hiring the director, first of all. While I haven't seen any of Nikki Caro's other work, flipping through her filmography, it seems like most of her films before this were all dramas, not action-adventure stories. While even though she seems to have shot some really interesting footage for the action scenes that had some coolness potential, she hired the wrong guy as editor to cut them all together. It was the same guy who edited all her previous films, and editing action is way different from editing drama, and this guy didn't know how to do it. It's all choppy and none of the action flows together, completely negating any fun factor that might have been had in the action sequences. Then Caro went right around and hired the wrong actors for the talking scenes, which is the majority of the movie. Drama can be just as interesting as action, so long as you have interesting actors. And these are not that. I liked the dad and the boyfriend actors alright, but everyone else gives particularly uninspired performances, especially the actors who played Mulan. She's definitely the wrong actress for the role. Not only does she not look nearly convincing enough as a man, but she's just so boring. Really boring. So, all that to say, what do I think of Mulan 2020? Well, it's certainly not a good movie, but I still think there's enough potential there and basic entertainment factor that it's not a completely horrible movie like everyone was saying when it first came out. So, while I wouldn't consider it as a recommend, I wouldn't say it's a complete failure either. So I'm gonna have to give this movie a D for dishonor. If they just hired better actors and a better editor, I think this movie could have gone in the good categories, despite the cliche dialogue and all the weird plot points that made no sense, etc., etc. It wouldn't be nearly as good as the original, but it may have at least been as entertaining as, say, the Aladdin remake. As it is, I just can't qualify it as a good movie, and that's why Hollywood, just like any other business, also need to be much more diligent in your hiring process, making sure you get the right people for the right job. And that's my review of Mulan 2020. Comment below and tell me what you think of this movie, and while you're down there, go ahead and leave a suggestion for other things you'd like me to review. See you later.